Hey guys, Milena from EnglishMadeSimple.net. This is episode number 250, número 250. Welcome to today's special episode. It's been about 4 weeks since my last episode, amigos y amigas. I know, it's been a while, and a lot of things have happened since then. The coronavirus thingy, which is not really a thingy anymore, from coronavirus to us traveling to Melbourne and then back and then having to cancel our overseas trip to Chile. So there were a lot of things that should have happened this month actually, but it has not happened because of coronavirus. Today's episode is about coronavirus pandemic and how it affects us. You'll also learn new terms, so keep listening, amigos y amigas. But first, how are you all doing? Good? I hope you're all keeping safe from this craziness. Hope you're keeping safe and keeping healthy. My heart goes out to people who are the most affected. People in Italy, Spain, France, China, Iran, Germany, and the USA, of course. There are other countries as well. I keep monitoring the world coronavirus tally every day almost, and if you receive emails from me, I'll share the link that I use to monitor this every day. I'll share the link with you guys in an email, so you too can also remain informed and you can see how serious this is. So as you can imagine, this is going to be a bit of a serious episode, and I just wanted to cover this topic about coronavirus because it's something that's going to remain in history, for years to come. People are going to talk about this. It has affected everybody, and it has affected everybody financially and health-wise, so it's really important to mention it. I'll tell you a short story about what I thought of coronavirus 4 weeks ago. So 4 weeks ago, I didn't really believe that this is, in fact, a serious infection. About 4 weeks ago, a few days before Valentina arrived from Chile. So if you listened to my last episode, you would have met Valentina through my episode. So we had a visitor from Chile 4 weeks ago. And so 4 weeks ago, before Valentina arrived, my husband had been obsessing about the coronavirus, reading up on the latest developments. And this is 4 weeks ago, okay? All I could think about is how annoying he was. Every day there's something about this coronavirus. He would tell me, oh, look, mi amor, coronavirus, look at this, oh my God. Really annoying. The reason I was annoyed was because I didn't hear anyone else talk about this virus. We'd go out to the shops, cafes, eat out at restaurants, see people socializing, holding hands, just behaving normally. It was a normal day out. That's why I thought he really should shut up, I mean, shut up, enough about coronavirus. So in my last episode, which I dedicated to our niece, Valentina, who was visiting us from Chile, I talked about how to navigate through the Melbourne airport. I gave her some tips, which probably were useful to you guys as well, because I wanted to help her get around and find her way to Adelaide. It was her first time traveling, but only 4 weeks later, the airport has become a ghost town. Most of the flights have been cancelled out of Adelaide and out of Melbourne. Well, almost everywhere in Australia, everything has been cancelled, and I'm sure the rest of the world now as well. I hope that episode was helpful to some of you as well, not just to Valentina. So that was in the last episode, okay? We talked about the airports. Anyway, lucky for Valentina, she managed to leave Australia. She left for Chile before Chile closed its borders last week. So she was quite lucky to be able to return home in time. Anyhow, back to my earlier story about how I didn't believe this nonsense talk about coronavirus. The first week when Valentina was here, Adelaide had reported 1 or 2 cases, confirmed cases of the coronavirus. It now has over 100 cases. It is a small city, like many cities in Italy. Adelaide has about 1 million inhabitants. The first week with Valentina, we spent basically attending the Fringe Festival. This is one of the biggest art festivals in the world, and it's held in Adelaide from 15th of February to 15th of March every year. A lot of people attend this festival. So as you can imagine, we were in a lot of well-populated places. We went to see shows, went dancing, always surrounded by people who never seemed worried about this coronavirus. People don't read the news, okay? About 2 weeks ago, we drove to Melbourne. So we drove about 8 hours to get to Melbourne. Melbourne is twice or triple the size of Adelaide. I think there's 4 million people in Adelaide. So Melbourne obviously is a fun city, busy city, had a few events on, such as the Moomba Festival, and the Grand Prix Formula One racing was also scheduled to be on. We managed to go to one of those events. We managed to go to the Moomba Festival. Again, there were a lot of people there, not many concerned about this virus or about what's happening in the news. There was a lot of people laughing again, holding hands and very close to each other. You could see some people wearing face masks, and festival has provided hand sanitizers as well, which I noticed, and that was really interesting. That was about 2 weeks ago. But the number of infected people had been rising. I still wasn't convinced this infection was that serious. This is still kind of early days for me. Then the news about Italy started showing up. There was a lot of stories about Italy, what's been happening. I think at that moment Italy had only, how many cases, confirmed cases, about 3,000 cases. They now have over 63,000 cases as of 24th of March 2020. So my heart goes out to the people of Italy. And, you know, what happened in only 3 weeks, this is just amazing. It's just risen so much. Then I started to listen to my husband. I think that opened my eyes to how serious this thing is, really. We had already booked flights in advance, like last year. We already planned to visit South America, to go to Chile, to visit family. And we had already booked flights for March, like 19th of March. And it's funny that we had already planned and looked forward to go, but we had to cancel the flights last week. So now we are back in Adelaide self-isolating. I'll explain what this means soon, okay guys? Adelaide still doesn't compare to the other worst affected countries, but it could easily reach them. Maybe in a couple of weeks, maybe. It's possible, it's only 2 weeks. So I'm not sure what's being said in your countries, what people say on TV or how you're being informed by this coronavirus, but here it's quite serious. There's non-stop talk about it, and yeah, we had a lot of plans this early, just beginning of the year. We were also going to go to the concert, the Dream Theater concert, my husband's favorite band. Now that's cancelled too. I mean, how often does someone like Dream Theater hold concerts in Australia? Not many bands come to Australia anyway, so it's too bad that they had to cancel. But yeah, Australia is just too far to come to and have concerts. But coronavirus has found a way to visit Australia, okay? So the bands are not coming, but coronavirus is here visiting us. Anyway, now while we are at home, now it's only Netflix, you know, just spending time at home, Netflix, not going to any concerts. Well, just watching concerts on TV, really. So guys, please be safe out there. This is just a special episode I wanted to create for you guys to remind you to be safe, to look after yourself. I'd like to remind everyone listening to keep up with their personal hygiene. That's extremely important. Everyone has access to soap and water nowadays. Please wash your hands, always. Whenever you touch your phone, touch your bags, type on your computer, remember we have germs on our fingertips. And when you touch your face, when you pick your nose or rub your eyes or, you know, chew on your nails, these germs can enter your body that way. So it really is important. It's really important to wash your hands. It's something we should always be doing regardless. But this coronavirus is a very strong reminder to always practice good hygiene. No one that I know is immune to this, maybe except crocodiles, because these things are immune to everything. Okay, amigos y amigas, it's been a few weeks since my last episode. It's because this whole situation has made me really depressed. Australia has introduced tough measures to control the spread of the coronavirus. I hope your country has done the same. This thing spreads super fast. With these strict measures that we now have in Australia, what this means is the shops and the cafes have to close. People are starting to panic buy items from the supermarket. And because of these people who panic buy items, the supermarket shelves are now empty of, essential items. It's really depressing when you go to the supermarket and see these empty shelves. The stock is not replenished quickly enough and demand is really high for these items. Anyway, the whole situation has brought back some kind of unpleasant memories of my childhood in Serbia, growing up during embargoes and sanctions in the 90s, no access to essentials like sugar, bread, toilet paper and so on. It's kind of a deja vu for me. And my parents have to go through this again 20 years later, but in Australia. I don't want to bring the mood down in this episode. I don't want to bring the mood down, but I wanted to record today's episode to let you know to look after yourself and your loved ones. 4 weeks ago, this threat wasn't imaginable, but now it is very real. Before I finish today's episode, I'd like to send a ray of hope to everyone. We won't be in this situation forever, amigos. It's temporary. Remember, it could have been much worse. Something could have dropped out of sky and ended us all. So it's a virus. It's not going to last forever. All we can do, amigos, is be vigilant, stay informed, and keep indoors as much as you can. Stay at home. If you don't need to go out, stay at home, wash your hands. What's the other one? I have to remember. Social distancing, that's the one. Yeah. So stay at home, wash your hands, and practice social distancing. I'll explain what that is. So now that you've listened to my quick little banter, I want you to learn the following terms related to this pandemic, something that I keep hearing on TV and everywhere I go, everything I read, I should say, not go, because I haven't been going. So I'll keep noticing these new terms popping up, and it could be useful to you. So one word, in English we say quarantine. That is quarantine when you have to make sure that you don't infect other people. So keeping isolated, remain in quarantine. It is a complicated word to spell. Probably you guys have a similar word in your language. But quarantine is spelled with a Q in English, Quarantine. Another term I want you to remember is self-isolation. So you can be in a voluntary isolation or self-isolation or mandatory self-isolation. So this is something that Australian government has introduced. The mandatory self-isolation is serious. It probably means you have the symptoms of the virus and you might infect others. You might be a danger. If you go out and infect others, you could potentially be infectious. So please respect the rules that the government gives you, okay? Lockdown is another word that keeps popping up. Lockdown, this is one word, it's a noun. What this means is when a country is in lockdown, it means that all the shops are closed. No people should be going out, gathering. Most pubs or cafes are closed. Only the essentials like supermarkets, pharmacies, and some logistic services would be functioning. And the last term I'd like you to know is social distancing. This has been thrown a lot on TV by the media and by the government. When I say it's been thrown a lot, I mean this in a positive sense. What this means is keep at least 1.5 meter distance from you and another person. Apparently the virus can't reach that far if a person sneezes or something like that. It's different to the normal flu. So there we go, amigos y amigas. I just want you to be really careful, take really good care of yourself, rest and stay at home. This is the best thing you can do for your immune system. It is the most important thing we can all do. I'll be releasing more new episodes as soon as I can. Please bear with me. Don't miss out on the next episode of the English Made Simple show. If you'd like to know when the next episode is coming out, visit englishmadesimple.net. When you visit englishmadesimple.net, you'll see my smiley face pop up from the side of the website. Enter your details to keep notified of future episodes. That's it, amigos y amigas. You've been jamming with Milena. Until next time, hasta la próxima. And remember, be safe.